Hello, I'm Bob Jeffrey at the Cannes Lion International Festival of Creativity. Cannes is where the advertising industry gathers to celebrate the best work and most exciting ideas. But Cannes is more than a party on the beach. Cannes is about being world-made and being inspired to make new things. Today on World Makers, we'll meet some of the people using that inspiration to redefine how we connect and create. Welcome to World Makers. Jeff Weiner is the CEO of LinkedIn, the world's largest professional network on the internet. Under Jeff's leadership, LinkedIn has rapidly expanded its global platform. It is now used by more than 225 million members in 19 languages with revenues of almost $1 billion. Jeff, welcome to World Makers. Great to have you here.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Many CEOs really want to understand how to take advantage of LinkedIn, or really how to use it, because we get so many requests for acceptances. What's your advice to them?
Well, one of our newest and most exciting offerings is the LinkedIn Influencers program. And that was really built with CEOs and other professional luminaries in mind. So they could publish on LinkedIn, and rather than connect with other folks, they could be followed. And so today you see people like Richard Branson who are being followed by nearly 2 million LinkedIn members. Bill Gates just joined the program. His first post generated over 1 million page views within several days. So that's really taken off, and we're encouraging other CEOs to become a part of that.
So one of the things I'm curious about with LinkedIn is you have a culture really based on innovation. What is it that you do from a cultural point of view, whether it's process or programs, that really fertilize that innovation? Because it's, the bigger you get, the harder it is to do.
Yeah, in addition to our talent, in addition to the culture, in addition to the infrastructure, there are some very specific activities and processes we've set up that enable people to think more creatively. So one of those, by example, would be hack days, where folks all over the company on a global basis have an opportunity to spend a day and develop things that they're really passionate about. We took that program, and we were hearing from a lot of folks, what are they supposed to do with the ideas that they came up with? And along those lines, we created a program called Incubator. So once a quarter, we actually enable teams to pitch ideas, and we'll evaluate them, and if they pass, they have an opportunity to actually form a team internally. We give them space, give them the resources, and for the next quarter they can go off and actually build that to scale. And then lastly, as an example, we give one Friday every month back to the employees. We call them In Days, and it's a time to think creatively, to think innovatively, and to focus on things that inspire our team.
So clearly you're a company that's really driving innovation, and you've been, in a good way, challenged to the whole recruitment industry. How do you see the recruitment industry now with the impact of LinkedIn and other types of platforms?
Recruitment is one part of our business model. In terms of the engagement that's generated on LinkedIn, actually job seeking is only a very small slice of that. As we like to say, LinkedIn is not only a tool that helps you to find your dream job, it also enables you to be great at the job that you're already in. But with regard to recruitment specifically, by virtue of the size of the network, we were able to do something that's really never been possible before, and that's passive candidate recruiting at scale. And within the industry, passive candidates are those that aren't actively looking for work. And historically, if you needed to fill a position, you would post a job and be flooded by resumes. And those resumes may or may not have been relevant for your actual role. So recruiters were spending a lot of their time sifting through these resumes, and more often than not saying no. And the ideal candidate may not be actively looking for a role. So by virtue of the fact that people on LinkedIn are updating their profiles when they're not looking for a job, we were able to create true disruption and true innovation. And now recruiters and hiring managers can search from across 225 million professionals on a global basis for almost any variable you could consider relevant to that professional search.
And the other aspect of LinkedIn that I'm intrigued with, as somebody who's engaged with it, is just the fact that you're a great curator of content. I feel, like most business people, that we're on complete information overload. And that one of the other aspects of LinkedIn that I really liked is the opportunity to really have an edited kind of insight in terms of what's going on.
Yeah, a big part of what we do is about getting the right business intelligence in front of the right member at the right time. So we're very focused on filtering through all of the content, the information, the knowledge, the insights that are being shared on LinkedIn, so we can help people make smarter decisions even faster, regardless of their role. And so we're doing that through pages like the homepage, which has essentially become a professional dashboard. And consider that every member on LinkedIn is getting a unique experience by virtue of who they're connected to, what companies they're following. There's a lot of different ways we can do that. LinkedIn Today is a great example, kind of like a personalized trade magazine.
You know, for your own company then, how would you define your talent strategy? Because I think, you know, being able to do that is pretty impressive, but you know, that requires a certain format, or I should say environment, in terms of innovation inside the company.
Yeah, our culture and our values have become key differentiators for us in terms of not only acquiring the right kind of talent, but also retaining the world's best talent. And it's interesting because we're in the very favorable position of being in the business of connecting talent with opportunity and also having talent, building a world-class team as our #1 operating priority. And when you can align what it is that you're delivering for your customers with the way in which you're running the company, I think it creates a lot of value.
How do you keep that spirit of innovation, and how do you keep that spirit of invention going? Because obviously you're growing, you're a public company, there's always the challenges of managing short-term goals, managing the street, but also knowing what you have to do in the long term. I mean, we all face that as CEOs, but particularly in your industry.
Yeah, we have a very long-term focus in terms of realizing the full potential of the platform, and we made a very concerted effort and decision prior to going public to maintain the culture, to maintain the values of the company, to maintain that longer-term focus. So with regard to innovation specifically, I think there's at least 3 dimensions that go into that. The first is the talent that we're looking for and the talent that we're developing within the company. And we're looking for people that can think creatively, that are thinking more entrepreneurially, that want to remain nimble regardless of the size of the company. The second dimension is our culture, and specifically some of the values that we use to make day in and day out decisions. And there we're looking for things like individuals who are ready to act like owners and take intelligent risks. And then lastly, our infrastructure is a big part of it. Building out an infrastructure that enables our R&D team to be able to innovate and iterate as quickly as they're prepared to do so is a big part of it. And right now, by virtue of some investment we made in the underlying platform, we've got teams who are able to roll out new product up to twice per day.
Do you see opportunities for LinkedIn from a kind of corporate talent development standpoint, meaning in terms of big organizations that are global, in terms of how they could use LinkedIn more effectively to manage their own talent?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, when we think about talent, our largest and fastest growing business historically has been Talent Solutions, which to date has been primarily focused on enabling companies to source the right talent. And as a result of that, we introduced a new unmet need, which was the pool of qualified candidates started to grow to such an extent where our customers were saying they needed a way to manage the pipeline of those prospects. So we recently introduced a product called Talent Pipeline. But as you continue to go up the talent continuum, the human capital management continuum, you start to get into applicant tracking, onboarding, learning and development, performance evaluations and management. And I think there's ways to leverage our platform and to leverage our assets so we can create value across that continuum, and either through a principal position, as is the case today with sourcing and pipelining, or enabling companies to leverage our assets through APIs.
Well, Jeff, it's been great having the time with you here in Cannes, and looking forward to working with you. I think you mentioned some ideas that we want to follow up on for JWT. Thank you.